Hello class, this is Enrique Juan and I'm recording this video to help you work on your writing assignment number 1 that is due by the end of the week. As you all know probably, you need to find the contents for the week in your syllabus and contents area in D2L. If you check the first week, you realize that you have a whole lot of information here that is going to be very helpful for writing the first writing assignment. If you check here, first, as I advised earlier, you have to check the planner and the learning object of the week over here. So, and also you have more information. You have, specifically, you have a resource that you need to check. Writing a narrative piece is a resource that I wrote in October 2018 with some guidelines for a personal narrative, and also a sample essay over here, A Night of Violence, and also the instructions for the assignment that you can find in the Dropbox of your contents. Let me start by checking first the instruction for the assignment. If you go to your Dropbox, you have a Word document with a detailed account of what you need to do for this first writing assignment. I'm requesting a personal narrative with pictures. You have to embed visuals. It could be pictures, it could be drawings, it could be any other form of visuals, as long as they convey a message, not with words, but with images. You have to tell me a story. If you read the instructions, I'm requesting a personal story where you were involved. It could be a story about you or a story that you incidentally had a part in, but it has to be a story that actually tells a story of who you are and will help your partners understand who you are better, and to get to know you a little bit better. Is we want to see you in action. It is not a random story. It's not something that didn't mean or that didn't leave an important message. It has to be something that is meaningful, something that somehow would give us some clues to understand you better. I gave you an example, so you should check the instructions. In the instructions, I'm showing you what are the essentials. Readings for the assignment. For example, from Andrea Langford, here's what happened. This is a chapter in her book, and you have to read a resource that I wrote for you, writing a narrative piece, and also a student sample, a sample essay, A Night of Violence. Let me start by checking the example of A Night of Violence, which is a student essay. Here you have the example. It's a story about a young person that used to be violent when this is a story in retrospect. This is something that happened to one person, and he's telling us an event that he was part of. He went out with a gang and they were mugging people, and so he's telling us a specific event in which he learned a valuable lesson, that there was a very thin line between being a good person and an evil person, depending on the context. So this is a very interesting story that leaves a message, and this is what I want you to do exactly. It's a story that somehow would leave a message, or something that you learned, or something that was relevant to you and will help us somehow see who you are. So this is an annotated text. I wrote some notes on the text to help you understand the essay a little bit better. I also included the resource, writing a narrative piece, and this is a more detailed presentation of what a narrative is, the purpose of a personal narrative, and my expectations for this particular assignment. In this resource, I make a summary of Andrea Langford's chapter, and I give you some additional tips to write a good narrative. For example, a general revision checklist that you could apply in your essay. Finally, I would like to remind you that I'm expecting the essay to comply with the MLA style standards. In your week 1, you have the guide, an MLA guide, an updated guide, the 2016 update of MLA, and you have a sample essay on page 41, from 41 to 48. All you need to do is follow or imitate or copy the format. It's going to be very simple. You don't have to do citations. So here is the example. I referred to this example in the first video conference. You have this is the way your essay should look like. This is from personal credentials, the title, and the formatting of the essay. No justification at the end of a line. And if you hear a dog whining, this is my dog that is whining because he wants to be let out. But in any case, if you can deal with that, we can continue with the recording. I'm very sorry for that. And so this is the format that you need to follow. And since you need to include visuals, on page 42 of the guide, you have an example of visuals embedded in the text. You need to include figure numbers, and there is an explanation here of how an illustration should be placed in an essay. Please, we still have a couple of days to go until you have to submit the assignment. If you have a question while you're working on it, please send me an email. Thank you.